I am from Colombia, the land of coffee, of emeralds, the country that gave the world Gabriel Garcia Marquez and inspired Encanto, the Disney film about magic. But last year, 32 community leaders were killed in my country. Armed groups still control the roads. I was on their list. I am from Mexico, the home of pyramids, of Frida Kahlo, of the Day of the Dead. But 132,000 of us have disappeared. The cartel that took my son still walks free. I am from Venezuela, home of Angel Falls, the tallest waterfall in the world, the country that was once the richest in Latin America. But 7 million of us have fled. The gang found me when I tried to start over. I'm from Honduras, the coral reefs of Roatan, the Maya ruins of Copan. But the gangs own my neighborhood. They tried to recruit my son. He refused. They killed his friend as a warning. I'm in the United Kingdom now, or the United States, or Canada, or Europe. I'm safe for the first time. But one question keeps me awake at night. Will they send me back? Can I get asylum for this? We base these videos on the analysis of real cases of people facing persecution in their home countries. We are country expert witnesses from London, focusing on human rights violations. We receive cases from major law firms who represent asylum seekers in the United Kingdom, United States, Canada, and the European Union. Our goal is to prepare evidence-based assessments and expert witness reports for asylum tribunals. Today, it is a story about people who fled gang and cartel violence from Colombia, Mexico, Venezuela, and Honduras. People flee gang and cartel violence from many countries. If this is your case and you need a country expert report for your asylum claim, the link is in the description. Let us look at the size of this problem. More than 25 million people have fled Latin America's gang and cartel violence since 2015. That is according to the United Nations Refugee Agency, Americas. 7.7 million Venezuelans alone have left their country. It is the largest displacement crisis in the Western Hemisphere. In Mexico, 132,000 people have disappeared. The United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Türk, named this figure during his official visit in April 2026.
Mexico's disappearance crisis amounts to crimes against humanity, accusing officials of complicity and systematic failure.
Now, how often do these claims succeed? Acceptance rates vary widely. In the United Kingdom, between 30 and 60%. In the United States, between 25 and 40%. In Canada, between 55 and 70%. In the European Union average, between 30 and 50%. Why such a difference? Because each court asks the same question, but answers it differently. Let us look at the 4 countries, one by one. The same question for each. What laws exist on paper and what happens in real life? From Colombia, around 20 to 30,000 people claim asylum each year. The United Kingdom grants asylum in roughly 35 to 45% of these cases. Colombia's main legal framework is the Justice and Peace Law of 2005. It was created after the FARC peace deal. But FARC dissident factions, the National Liberation Army, and Clan del Golfo operate outside this law. They are not bound by it. United Nations High Commissioner Volker Türk said in February 2026,
Mr. President, in Colombia, where my office documented 32 killings of political leaders in 2025.
That is one leader killed every 11 days. From Mexico, around 60 to 80,000 people claim asylum each year, most of them in the United States. The United States grants roughly 25 to 35%. The United Kingdom grants roughly 30 to 40%. Mexico has no specific anti-cartel protection law for civilians. There is a general law on forced disappearance from 2017, but state collusion with cartels is widespread. In April 2026, the United Nations High Commissioner visited Mexico. He used these words: cartel state collusion, impunity, journalists, searching mothers, a deepening human rights tragedy. In the same month, the United Nations Committee on Enforced Disappearances triggered its first ever Article 34 referral of Mexico to the United Nations General Assembly. Full expert reports for Colombia, Mexico, Venezuela, Honduras, and other countries are available on our website. Link in the description. You can use these reports in your asylum claim. From Venezuela, more than 200,000 people claim asylum each year globally. The United Kingdom grants roughly 50 to 65%. Spain, 45 to 60%. The United States has temporary protected status for Venezuelans. Venezuela has no effective prosecution of colectivos. armed groups that work for the government. The Maduro government uses Tren de Aragua and Colectivos as an informal security force. Tren de Aragua now operates in at least 5 countries: Venezuela, Colombia, Chile, Peru, and the United States. The United Nations fact-finding mission on Venezuela said in September 2025, pattern of torture, enforced disappearances, and persecution post-July 2024 election. From Honduras, around 40 to 50,000 people claim asylum each year. The United States grants roughly 25 to 30%. Canada, 50 to 65%. Honduras has had the anti-gang law since 2003. The Mara Salvatrucha gang, known as MS-13 and Barrio 18, still operate with near total impunity. A national state of emergency has been in place since December 2022. But gang recruitment continues. Honduras has one of the top 10 femicide rates in the world. Women and girls are killed in numbers higher than in almost any other country. Asylum is given, first of all, when the state cannot or will not protect you from the harm. This is called state failure to protect, and it has 2 sides. Test 1, the state is unable to protect. That happens when parts of the country are outside government control. Failed state conditions. Test 2, the state is unwilling to protect. That happens when there is corruption, collusion, indifference. Both tests apply to our 4 countries today. Colombia. Large parts of the country are controlled by armed groups. The state cannot protect. Mexico. The United Nations has documented cartel state collusion. The state will not protect. Venezuela. The government itself uses armed groups against its own people. The state is the persecutor. Honduras. Gang networks operate in every major city. The state is unable to protect, despite a national state of emergency. Each destination country looks at the same facts, but applies different standards. Acceptance rates vary widely. Some courts ask, is there a risk if we send you back? Let us look at what the evidence shows. For Colombia, community leaders return home and are killed. 32 of them in 2025 alone. For Mexico, journalists who return are murdered. Searching mothers who continue their work are killed. For Venezuela, opposition voices who return face arbitrary detention, torture, and forced disappearance. For Honduras, those who refuse gang recruitment are killed within weeks of return. Courts sometimes ask, can you just move to another part of your country? This is called internal relocation. It is a simple question. But for gang and cartel cases, the answer is usually no. Here is why. In Colombia, Clan del Golfo controls trafficking routes across 11 departments. In Mexico, the Sinaloa cartel operates in 27 of 32 states. In Venezuela, Tren de Aragua operates across at least 5 countries. Moving within Venezuela does not help. In Honduras, the Mara Salvatrucha gang, known as MS-13 and Barrio 18, have networks in every major city. The expert witness cannot accept or reject the applicant's testimony. That is the court's role. The expert assesses the applicant's account against the country situation and provides a detailed conclusion on the risk of return to the country and the risk of internal relocation. In most cases, if the claimed information is accepted, internal relocation and return to the country are unsafe for this type of persecution. And if the court accepts the applicant's evidence, asylum can be granted in most cases. This is why a personal assessment of each individual case is critically important. What happens to a person on return? Look at the evidence. Imprisonment. Political opponents detained in Venezuela. Journalists detained in Mexico under extortion charges. Torture, documented by the United Nations fact-finding mission on Venezuela. Arrest and arbitrary detention, Venezuela post-July 2024 election. Death, community leaders in Colombia. Journalists in Mexico. Gang recruitment refusers in Honduras. Why does internal relocation not work for these cases? Armed groups have nationwide reach. The Sinaloa cartel is present in 27 of 32 Mexican states. Transnational networks. Tren de Aragua operates across more than 5 countries. State collusion, moving regions, does not escape government persecutors. Information networks, gangs find people through their families, social media, employers, no working state protection anywhere in the country, failed state conditions in conflict zones. The methods applied to a person on return violate 3 international frameworks. The 1951 Refugee Convention, Article 33, non-refoulement, no return to persecution. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 14, right to seek asylum. The European Convention on Human Rights, Article 3, prohibition of torture or inhuman treatment, where applicable. If this is your story, you are not alone. If you need a country expert report for your asylum claim, the link is in the description. Subscribe. Your country may be next on the channel. Comment which country you want covered. Share this video with anyone who needs to hear it.